Chapter 27. Satanism. Demonic entities often enter satanic rituals through the medium of fire. Satanism is the worship of these entities which Satanists allow to possess them. The satanic hierarchy in our reality is dictated by the power and status of demons that possess the people involved, the hierarchy that controls royalty, politics, banking, corporations and the media. This is a quote by David Icke from The Perception Deception. Fiona goes on to say how the satanic hierarchical pyramid works. At the lowest level you have the street gangs, next you have the organized crime and the mafia, next you have recruits into the elite club, then above that you have just pedophiles that rape children but have no satanic connection. Finally at the top you have the elite VIPs who are fully fledged Satanists. She states that only bloodliners can make it to the top, and such people come from the 13 or so bloodlines as exposed by Fritz Springmeier and David Icke. Such bloodlines are revered as demigods, and the approximate 300 bloodlines below them cannot make it into the top echelon. Fiona states that the Satanists have even created a false memory foundation, which is a fake organization set up by pedophiles to stop true victims from coming forward with their stories by convincing people that they didn't really experience what they did. Kay Griggs testifies that the military is infested with Satanists also. She is the former wife of a U.S. military officer. She says that the Western ruling elite is infested with Satanists who are the prime force behind the so-called war on terror, which is really a war against Islam and against God. She documented the Satanists' penetration of the highest levels of the military and said that her former husband forced her to participate in the most disgusting satanic rituals imaginable. She says that these satanic practices are commonplace among top U.S. military commanders. In David Icke's The Perception Deception, he writes about a Jewish female called Vicky Pollan who appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1989. She described how she was brought up in a satanic family in Chicago and was forced to witness and participate in human and animal sacrifice. She said that her family tree went back to around 1700, and that her family keep track of who's been involved. This meant following the bloodline to see who was more genetically and vibrationally compatible for possession. Vicky said that Satanists are schizophrenics that are a normal personality in the public eye and the exact opposites in private. An Australian document from 2004 that Icke highlights in The Perception Deception confirms that Satanists are manipulated into power in society, and it says, amongst the highest echelons, some are politicians, medical doctors, high-ranking policemen, lawyers, advertising gurus, military men, media personalities, models and social workers. Amongst the lowest ranks are prostitutes, minor drug dealers and some high school students. Their victims are drip-fed straight amnesia by an assortment of mind control measures and psychological torture tactics that would leave any person numb with the dawning apprehension that things are not as they seem. Politicians are introduced by a carefully graded set of criteria and situations that enable them to accept that their victims will be our little secret. Young children sexually molested and physically abused by politicians worldwide are quickly used as sacrifices. In Australia, the bodies are hardly ever discovered, for Australia is still a wilderness. It goes on to say that in highly populated countries the bodies are disposed of through incineration at crematoria that's controlled by cults, or the bodies are buried in the countryside. There is always a cost for everything in this world, so, this thought came creeping into my mind, just how far do you go with these spirits before you start paying the price? This is a quote by Roger Morneau. The bloodlines did this openly. Human sacrifice, for thousands of years. But when it became unacceptable to the population, they went underground into secret satanic networks, and they have continued to perform these rituals on an extraordinary scale in line with a strictly observed satanic ritual calendar. This dictates the time and type of ritual in accord with the astronomical positions of the planets and stars. This is a quote by David Icke. Excerpt from Shane McMinn, The Asylum, iBooks.